Truth comes out as the fire burns low. It comes to light as only embers glow. The whiskey talks, the west wind moans in the night. The deadfalls gathered and the branches are cut. The kindling crackles and the smoke curls up. The small sticks catch and the bigger stuff will burn. Chinook dies down as the dark descends, and the pine is burned and the ashes cleansed. The message smolders, is lost but finally sent. Well, Connie says she never seen the cougar so bold. They're coming in the yard and they're stealing young colts, and they drag him in the brush with the claws sunk in their nose. The weather's been funny 30 years or so. The winter's got warm and not as much snow. Hear the big cats coming 'cause there's nowhere left to go. You gotta look out for bear when you're fishing on Lee's Creek. They'll come round the bend and they'll make your knees weak. There's grizzlies where there was no grizzly bears before. From the ghosts from the graves, the grandfathers tell us that the mouths of the caves, only old chiefs older than Jesus can save us now. If we're lucky. A white man light a big fire, stay cold. A red man's warmer, but the old man's old. The antelope seeks the buffalo in the night. Yeah, the antelope mourns the buffalo in the night. Look out for bear when you're fishing on Lee's Creek. They'll come round the bend and they'll make your knees weak. There's grizzlies where there was no grizzly bears before. The truth comes out as the fire burns low. It comes to light as only embers glow. The antelope mourns the buffalo in the night. Well, I think you ought to try whiskey, baby.
Well, I think you ought to try gin.
Well, gin sounds kinda risky, baby.
Whiskey makes me cringe.
Yeah, but whiskey makes you frisky, baby.
Oh, much to my chagrin.
Well, I think you ought to try whiskey, baby.
Well, I think you ought to try gin.
Whiskey makes me feel as though I'm smart and tough and tall. It makes me think of things I never thought about at all.
That's true.
And I don't know why anyone wouldn't wanna at least try a drop of corn or rye or wheat or barley before they die.
Whiskey makes you do things that perhaps you might nota. It's a demon every drink and there's a fight in every bottle. Whiskey makes you act as though the whole world owes you something.
And
I love you, but when you're that high, you ain't all that dumpling.
Well, I think you ought to try whiskey, baby.
Well, I think you ought to try gin.
Well, gin sounds kinda risky, baby.
Oh, whiskey makes me cringe.
Yeah, but whiskey makes you frisky, baby.
Oh, much to my chagrin.
Well, I think you ought to try whiskey, baby.
Well, I think you ought to try gin. Gin seems so sophisticated, classy, crisp and clean. Hints of piney juniper of England and the queen. It makes me feel so ladylike, and it gives me what I need. And Lord knows with how we're living, I'll take any help I see.
Well, when you're drinking gin, you put your nose up in the air.
Whatever.
You strut around the room and act like I'm not even there.
Most times you're not.
You slur your words and paw at every rich man through the door. If I want to taste that bitter, I'll go find a 2x4. Well, I think you ought to try whiskey, babe.
Well, I think you ought to try gin.
Well, gin sounds kind of risky, babe.
But whiskey makes me cringe.
Yeah, but whiskey makes you frisky, babe.
Oh, much to my chagrin.
Well, I think you ought to try whiskey, babe.
Well, I think you ought to try gin.
I think you ought to try whiskey, babe.
I think you ought to try gin.
Maybe I have.
Liar.
Stops, everything stops, nothing left in the fountain. Nobody wants paper money, son, so you just will stop counting. Can you break the horse? Can you light the fire? What's that? I beg your pardon. You best start thinking where your food comes from, and I hope you tend a good garden. Getting down on the mountain, getting down on the mountain. Don't wanna be around when the shit goes down. I'll be getting down on the mountain. Truck don't run, the bread don't come, have a hard time finding petrol. Water ain't running in the city no more, do you hold any precious metal? Can you gut the fish, can you read the sky? What's that about overcrowding? You ever seen a man whose kids ain't ate for 17 days and counting? Getting down on the mountain, getting down on the mountain. Don't wanna be around when the shit goes down, I'll be getting down on the mountain. There ain't no heat and the power's gone out. It's kerosene lamps and candles. The roads are blocked, it's all gridlocked. You got a shortwave handle. Can you track the deer? Can you dig the well? I couldn't quite hear your answer. I think I see a rip in the social fabric. Brother, can you spare some ammo? Getting down on the mountain, getting down on the mountain. Don't wanna be around when the shit goes down. I'll be going to ground on the mountain. When the oil stops, everything stops, nothing left in the fountain. Nobody wants paper money, son, so you just will stop counting. Can you break the horse? Can you light the fire? What's that? I beg your pardon. I think I see a rip in the social fabric. Brother, can you pass the ammo? Getting down on the mountain, getting down on the mountain. Don't